open-ended to you, but that seemed like one of the gutsiest performances I've seen from a group.
Yeah, and I thought, I told them in there, just their mentality was consistent throughout. I really mean that. Even in the timeouts, you get down 10, you get down 12, the swings in the game. I never felt like anybody wavered. And that doesn't mean you're going to win the game. But we all know in the NBA playoffs, these games are so long, and you just try to give yourself a chance. And we did that. We played out possessions. I thought we were much more patient offensively those last 6 minutes to get a good shot up each time down. Like even Russ's shot in the corner. I know they were pre-rotating Nikola. You got to take the best shot possible, and he took it. And I thought our defensive intensity was good in the fourth quarter. And Aaron's going to be a hero again, but I'm also looking at 14 rebounds. I'm looking at 22 points. I'm looking at ball handling responsibilities, leadership. He is a Denver Nugget, man. Like he is the soul of our team. So cool to see him have two moments that no one will ever forget.
Coach, it looked like Nikola refused to let you lose. At the same time, he's losing his temper. The crowd's on him. Just can you go over what you saw from him in the 18-point fourth quarter? Felt like he was everywhere, including maybe in his own head, their head, and just a lot going on in that last quarter with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the crowd affects him ever. I did think the physicality, they were bringing 3 and 4 bodies at him. He had to play through that. He had some unbelievable finishes around the basket. And the biggest thing for us was he finally saw the three-point shot go in. And with their drop coverage and the way they played, that put them in much longer rotations, which puts him in closeout situations where he can actually handle it, spin, score in the paint. And him playing in the middle of the floor as opposed to on the block is hard, because now you're really having to bring bodies, 15, 16 feet away from him, as opposed to on the block, you have a set defense to rotate and take him away. So, Jamal was great early. Nikola was great late and, throughout as usual. But once again, like I said, a lot of guys stepping up, and it's just cool to see Aaron Gordon be the guy that finishes it.
You mentioned the mentality being consistent throughout. What do you feel like that's a product of with this team?
They're just for each other. It's like I just never saw anything where you're going, yeah, we're kind of losing it. Maybe competitively, because that's what happens in a playoff game. Both teams, they want this so bad. But just the communication on the bench, it wasn't about blaming somebody. It was about how can we do this better. What can we do better in a cross match? What can we do better with Shai? That's what it was. Even down whatever it was, with the last couple minutes to go. So when you have that and you're just communicating about trying to win a game and not all the other crap that can go on, you give yourself a chance. And we did. The ball bounced our way. We got an opportunity, and Aaron knocked it down.
David. How did you guys win a game where you had 18 turnovers, they had 23 points off those turnovers? I think you only made 9 threes all night. How did you win this game?
Yeah, I mean, we hit the glass. I mean, we had 27 second chance points. That's just all effort on a night where shots are not going in. Unfortunately, they outscored us in fast break 27-21, but 21's a great number. And then we talked about this, the best paint defense maybe I've ever seen. And to get 54 in this building in a playoff game, what that means is you're working really hard to try to stay in the game. And when things may not be going your way, you only make 10 threes, the assist totals are low. But we just played hard and played together. And like I said, it doesn't mean you're going to win every game that way, but you're going to give yourself a great chance. And we did that, and things worked out for us.
Yeah, I know it's kind of pick your poison, so it leaves a lot of open threes. What do you think about the effort on SGA to at least make it hard for them? And then you just kind of accept some of those, not that you want to leave wide open threes, or I guess how do you maybe limit some of those and still?
Yeah, I think when we look at the tape, I give, Lou Dort and Caruso so much credit. Those shots, just because they're open doesn't mean they're easy shots in a game like this. It speaks to the depth of their team. And yes, we can do a better job of helping on Shai, Jalen, but still getting out and getting a decent contest. But sometimes, just like with us, you have to let somebody shoot the ball when you're playing a first-team All-NBA player, 2 All-Stars that break you down and ISO you. So, yeah, our effort can get better, and that's the great thing about tape. You can go back and watch it, show it to the guys. This is a very honest group. They're easy to direct in those ways. So winning a game like this is good, obviously, but we can get better.
David, a year ago, that would not have been considered a high-percentage shot. What are you thinking as the ball finds Aaron there? And just more broadly, what have you seen go into his jump shot and his three-pointer this season?
He is so fluid right now, fluidity with his shot. It's very different. Over the years, it's slowly gotten better. There's less of a hitch. There's almost no hitch now. It's just a very fluid up and down shot. His knees release when his elbow does. All the things they tell you when you're 10 years old at camp. It looks that way right now. So it's nice to put him in the corner where he can make a shot. And on top of that, you put that man in the corner and he wants to cut on the baseline. We've all saw that in Game 7, that lob dunk he caught. Being able to do both is a weapon, especially when we're playing two-man game with Jamal and Nikola.
You mentioned the kind of conversations this team has where they're open and not blaming each other. From a coach's perspective, how does that help you continue to do your job?
Yeah, I think it lets you focus on schematics. You don't have to go in and rally the group to stay together in a tough moment. That's already happening, and they're already having that conversation. Keep yourself going. Keep your head up. And I know it sounds, cliche, but it's not. In this building, how loud it is. You brought up Nikola, the intensity of the game, people calming him down, him calming other people down. You need that. So when I step in there, we can just talk about trying to win the game. Not trying to balance egos or any of that stuff. So it goes a long way in high intense moments. Just super proud of the guys.
Coach, how important was it that, they never really ran away from you? Their biggest lead was 14. They would get it to 13. You guys would immediately go get it to 8. They get it to 13. You guys get it to 8. How important was it that you guys just kept kind of chopping wood there a little bit?
So important. And that's what I was talking about, the mentality. Would have been really easy for me to come up here and say, we just played Saturday in a Game 7, and we have all the excuses in the world, and we're so tired. And no, it's the playoffs. You only get a certain amount of chances out here. And you're right. Yeah, every time they got up, I never sensed – we can play in 2 days. We can still even this thing up 1-1. No, this is our opportunity tonight. Live in the present in these moments. These games they're so hard to win. And when you put yourself in a situation like this, like we did, don't waste your energy. Stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish. And you're right, because we did that, we never let go of the rope because it felt like a few times it was close, like they were about to blow this thing out in their building, which they do a lot. This is an amazing team that we're competing against with a great head coach, great players, and depth. Like I said, the word of the night for me is just mentality. Like, we did it, we stayed with it, and it worked out for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Mark, obviously not the way you guys wanted to finish. What'd you feel in terms of just Denver's experience there late and you guys trying to make the plays down the stretch?
Yeah, credit them. I thought they out-executed us down the stretch. I liked a lot of what we did most of the night to have control of the game. Obviously didn't close it tonight, but I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought we got a lot of feedback in terms of our plan. Didn't think our execution was as clean as it can be, but we'll learn from it. It's a series.
Mark, obviously I know generally you try to foul up 3, but is there any part of you that wishes that last sequence went differently, and especially the possession where Jokic is still waiting to check in?
I don't know exactly what possession you're talking about on that one, but that's usually our deal, is to foul up 3 and to play that game. I thought we executed the fouls pretty well, got the ball in bounds pretty well. It didn't go our way tonight, but it's worked out well for us in the past. We'll continue to look at it, maybe learn from it, but I didn't think that's why we lost the game.
And with Jokic, it felt like I think he had at least 8 free throws in that fourth quarter. It felt like he's on the fence with the 5th foul, and there are some sequences that maybe swing that game. Like, how difficult is that when you're trying to shift center out the game, Chet to Hart and try to manage that?
I thought a lot of the free throws that hurt us in the fourth were like backcourt fouls that were, just sloppy execution on our part that we can learn from and clean up. We had them in the bonus early in the first. They were in the bonus early in the fourth. That hurt us. So, again, there's stuff we can learn from, but it wasn't our cleanest game. It was kind of a coin flip type of game. We allowed them to get back in it and make it a possession game. Gordon made a shot, credit him, and we just got to be better.
A couple of things. One, they came back. They got some quick fouls. They didn't have to use the clock. And then 2, after SGA hits his free throws, you fouled immediately instead of letting them maybe use some time to get it past half court to use up some time. I guess why foul as soon as they inbound the ball on the other end of the court?
Yeah, so couple things on that. I did think the backcourt fouls hurt us, and again, we can learn from that. The fouling up three, that's on me. I think given the foul and getting the foul executed is critical. So if there's something to be learned from that, it's probably giving it too early on my part, but that's not on the players. They're executing what I'm telling them to do.
Mark, you said, you mentioned a few things about how you guys ended up losing this, but you said that the fouling situation down the stretch wasn't why you lost. What would you boil it down to of why you lost this one?
I mean, just overall execution on both ends of the floor. I thought defensive execution, we had a lot of possessions that we can clean up and learn from. The rebounding, we can definitely learn from. They had a lot of offensive rebounds tonight, gave them a lot of second life. And then our execution down the stretch offensively. So, it's lousy that we lost game one. We'd rather be up 1-0 and with stuff to clean up, but that's not how this works. So now we got to go get to work and execute better next game.
What's the challenge of, a game like this where you have a pretty comfortable lead, see it, lost away, losing home court advantage? I mean, just those sorts of things on the mental side of things. What's the challenge of coming back from that?
It's the playoffs. We have to embrace it. We have to embrace the struggle of the playoffs. We have to embrace the adversity of the playoffs. The playoffs are a mountain to climb. So it's not going to be easy for anybody. We kind of coasted through the first round. It was challenging in the games, but we had control of the series the whole time. But no one just walks their way through a series at this point in the season. So credit Denver. They were the better team tonight. We can learn from it. We need to execute better, but it's a series first of four.
Joker obviously had another monster night. What did you think of the execution of the defensive game plan against him? And what's your feeling coming out of this about your team's ability to try to contain a guy who's obviously maybe the best player in the league?
Yeah, I mean, 42 is loud, obviously. 10 of those were free throws. He didn't assist the ball tonight the way that he does on average. So, the free throws were problematic, especially the bonus ones, like the one on the cut, the one in the backcourt. Those are tough plays where he's walking the line, getting points on those. But there were plays that we executed well. There were plays that we didn't. I thought in the first half we did a really good job defensively. We held them to 50 points or around there. But, we obviously need to be better. We don't want to give them 42 points.
And you're up 14 with a little bit over 4 left. I mean, the way things went, obviously, before you got to the final game, to the fouls game, rather, from 14 to where it became a possession game, what did you think went wrong for you guys?
I mean, anytime you give up a lead like that, it's both ends of the floor. So it's offensive execution. I can do a better job of getting us organized and getting us quality looks. And then down the other end, to Myron's point, I thought some of the fouls that put him on the line without using clock obviously helped them get back into it. So it was both ends. It was everybody. We're all in it together. We need to execute better. I need to coach better. They need to execute the plan better. And we just need to be a better team in game 2.
Yeah, Mark, I think Jokic got his 5th foul on the flagrant with 6.5 minutes left. After that, did you change your offense at all, trying to go at him more, trying to get a 6th foul? And did that lead to any offensive stagnation?
We certainly try to go at them at times, but, you can get teams into like a defensive rhythm if you're like repeatedly at them every single possession. So we try to mix the bag a little bit on that, but it was on our mind for sure. I mean, we're aware of the foul situation, but like I said, we could have been better down the stretch.
The play we're talking about, Jokic not in the game, that came after Shai's dunk. They clearly thought they were going to foul, get him right back in. Shai gets free for the dunk. How tough is it to switch a strategy with no stoppage of play, where you got the dunk, they got no timeouts, they got to just play?
That's what's tough. It's tough to switch the strategy. We've got the guys locked in on fouling up 3 as a philosophy. They executed it. Like I said, anything with the foul up 3 stuff in terms of timing, that's on me. I mean, I'll take full responsibility for that. But philosophically, that's also what we do.
Did you see anything tonight that would indicate that the long layoff may have affected anything about the outcome of the game?
I don't know. It's hard to say. At the end of the day, I thought, maybe if we started the game like Rusty, we were 0 for 10 from 3 to start the game, and then we were 7 for 14 after that. So, I thought we found our groove there. And I thought our stuff, really was down the stretch. So I think it was more of an execution thing. It's hard to siphon out, what exactly to attribute that to, but the reality is they out-executed us tonight. It's a 7-game series. We need to be the better team in game 2.
First half, Jokic seemed like he was operating a lot inside. You guys were very active in the passing lanes, and second half it looked like he was more so outside and then trying to back you guys down. What did that do for you guys' defense to throw you guys off?
Yeah, I thought, like I said, in the first half, I thought we did a good job on him and their team. We had, we got stops. We were disruptive. I thought we had them a little bit out of rhythm. We were physical. In the second half, they scored, over 35 in both quarters. So, I thought that was a defensive issue in the second half. Obviously, the free throws had something to do with that. But, again, we did a lot of good things. Both ends of the floor. It's never as bad as you think it is when you lose by 2, but now we got to get to work and improve our execution. We have to get better as the series goes.
Do you feel like that was more of a point of attack thing for you guys or physicality?
With the defense, a little bit of everything. Execution of schemes, the rebounding certainly hurt us in the second half. The free throws hurt us in the second half. It was a mixed bag. We just we need to be a little bit better. We don't have to be perfect, but we have to certainly be better.
This obviously wasn't the outcome that you were looking for, but can you talk about the positive that Caruso brought?
Yeah, he was awesome. He's a gamer. I thought he gave us a great lift in the first half, obviously. And the shot making, he was the one that kind of got the ball rolling down the hill for us there. Did a great job out of halftime. I thought we got control of it there. Deciding to start him, and then he's just so engaged in the game. He knows the plan. He can guard a lot of different guys. He executes. I thought he played great on offense tonight. He played a great game.
Mark, is the stagnation on offense just really hard to turn around once you start having trouble, and really the low percentage shots that J-Dub got off and a couple that Shai got?
Yeah, like the dead ball offense, some of that's coaching. I got to get us in advantageous positions in those situations. And then some of it's just like when we're not getting stops. I mean, the game's all connected. So when we're not getting stops, we're taking the ball out of the basket, or they're shooting free throws. We're coming up against a dead floor every time down the stretch of a game. So a few more stops help us there. We'll evaluate every possession, try to get better. Like I said, it was an execution game down the stretch, and they out-executed us.
Mark, obviously, Chet was very involved in that last sequence. He misses the 2 free throws, and then he tries to defend Gordon on the other end. He hits the game-winning 3. What's sort of your conversation with him after the game and after that sequence?
I mean, I'm not going to smother him right now. I think generally we talk going into the playoffs about the gaps between the games and the ups and downs of a series and the challenges that teams need to overcome to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So we do that proactively for this situation. We know it's not going to be easy. We know the playoffs are challenging. They take teams to the limit. We're no exception to that. So hopefully the guys apply that framework to when they lay on the pillow tonight, and then we'll come back tomorrow and go through the same process that we would go if we won the game by 2.
Anybody else? Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.
Shai, obviously, taste of adversity here tonight. What's your expectation of how this team will respond to tonight?
Yeah. It should be good. It should be fun. We're going to find out what we're made of, what we're really made of. And we couldn't expect it to be smooth sailing this whole journey. No journey in life is, and we know that. And today is a bump in the road, unexpected. No one expects to lose, especially that way, but it's the game of life, so it's about how you respond to getting knocked down, and that's what we got to do next game.
For Shai or Jalen, either one of you guys, whoever feels the play where you got broke free for the dunk with 10 seconds left, go up 3. Mm-hmm. They're out of timeouts. Jokic is out of the game. Mark explained you've been trained, you're fouling when you're up 3 and just automatic. But would have been a nice thing maybe to just play defense with Jokic on the bench. How tough is it to adjust course in the heat of the moment like that when what you maybe are supposed to do is not the best thing to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's hard now because we lost, and it's going to seem like we should have did the other thing, obviously, because what we did led to a loss. But, like, we've been in that situation before. We fouled, and we've won the game. And tonight it didn't go in our favor. Now, it's not always going to go the way you want it, but there's analytics and there's a way we want to end the game, and I think we did it as we planned. It just didn't go our way. But yeah, we like I said, it's nothing's ever going to always go your way, and that's what happened tonight.
Jalen, as that shot at the buzzer's going up, what goes through your mind in that moment? Not only the shot.
My shot?
Yeah, your shot.
Like, that ain't making it to the rim. I'm actually impressed it hit the glass. It was kind of like you get like the shock of the three going in, and like obviously we're out of timeouts. It's just like just try and get it close to the rim and see what happens from there. That's really it.
More broadly, you guys obviously a lot will be talked about the last seconds, but you're up 14 and then find yourself in a close game. What do you guys diagnose as the whys of not being able to close out after building that kind of lead?
Rebounding.
Yeah, rebounding, execution late. We got some good looks. Probably could have got better looks, better offensive possessions. That's all I got for now. I'm sure there's other
It's
things
like a built-up
when you go and
like-
watch a game.
Like you said, we're up 14, so like there's a lot of stuff in the game. So it's very easy to like look back at the last 15 seconds or last minute of the game. There's so many things that happen in a game that allow that to happen. So you look at rebounding, they got a couple runouts early. All that stuff adds up. Like I missed 2 free throws to start the game. Like you can just add a lot of things that go to it. But I think rebounding they got a lot of second chance like opportunities and points and stuff like that.
Either one of you guys, what's your message to Chet? I know he's mad he missed the 2 free throws. What you guys tell him?
The 2 free throws don't. Like they would have been nice, but it's like also at the same time like that's not why we win or lose the game. Because like if they don't make that 3, we win the game. It's like if I make, like I said before, if I make 2 free throws early, what's the score of the game? Like, there's so many factors that factor into a game. That's not why we lost the game. And obviously it sucks and it's good for character development. He'll be better for it later down the road.
And also, the Minnesota game where you guys lost a 16-point lead under this is obviously bigger stakes, playoffs and everything else, but does this kind of feel a bit like that a little bit for you?
Nah, not really. Like the average swing in an NBA game is 13 points. Right? Yeah. The average swing is 13 points, so you can go up 13, you go down 13. That's just on normal for the playoffs. It's still right around there, so that's just kind of how basketball is. We understand that. It just didn't happen to go our way tonight.
Shai, why do you think the offense dried up for you guys down the stretch?
I'm not too sure. Like, it's hard to reflect this fast after the game, but what it felt like, they were just doing a good job of like loading the elbows on drives. They were in the passing lanes. I feel like we got a couple shots that were makeable for sure, and were pretty good looks. But there's definitely things we could be better at tactically down the stretch for sure. And I know myself, I'll look at those things and see if we can be better for next game. I can be better for next game for them for sure.
And then for either of you guys, obviously Joker's not your primary assignment, but he is a whole team.
It is a group effort, yeah.
Sure. 42 for him, obviously dominant on the glass as well. What can you guys do to try to limit a guy who's obviously puts up huge numbers against everybody?
I don't want to specifically say stuff, but you just try and make good players like that work for, catches and make shots hard. And I think if we can eliminate second chance points, I think that really hurt us. You get them to miss one, and then you go foul them and give them an and one. Just plays like that add up over time. That's something that would be on the top of my head, but we'll have X's and O's and all the other stuff to do it. But a lot of that just comes from trying to make it tough. And he's a good player, so it's sometimes vice versa on this end. We're going to hit shots that are tough, and we kind of understand that. But you just try and make it as difficult as possible.
Guys, what would you say the overall mood of the team was after this one?
It sucked the first couple minutes, but after that, back to ourselves. Like I said, we didn't expect our whole run to be sunshine and rainbows, and we know that. It's about how we respond, and there's nothing we can do about what just happened. So there's no point to have our head down or be sad about it or sulk about it. All we can do is be better for the next game, and that's what we're focused on.
Jalen, you mentioned free throws earlier. What do you think that you guys could do better to improve on the glass? I mean, rebounds.
Oh, you mean like us fouling them?
No, like you getting the rebounds.
Oh, box out, go up with two hands and grab that. Don't stand and watch. Box out again, and when you go up and you jump, make sure you grab it.
Anybody else? Go Andrew with the last one.
You guys didn't have a lot of clutch minutes during the regular season. Do you think that played to any of just like the lack of execution down the stretch, or is this just like one specific game?
Nah, it's easy to kind of like point the finger at that, and it's like if we win, we don't even bring it up. So it's like kind of like one of those things where it's like if we win, we can look at how we could have been better. If we lose, we do the same thing. It's just kind of like one of those things. So it's like obviously if we win this game, you know, everybody's gonna be like, oh, we fouled up 3 and this was good and our offense was great. Like it's kind of like one of those things. But we'll get back to the drawing board and figure out what we got to do to get better and improve and do that. You know, obviously the series is not first to one game, so just take it one step at a time. We know we weren't gonna go on this like undefeated run, and this is just a bump in the road that we can recover from.
Thank you, guys.
I just barred up crazy.
Thank you.
Me. Hey, I didn't even touch that bitch with my right hand.
Yeah. Any questions?
Aaron, given how much you've improved on your three-point shooting over a calendar year, how rewarding was it to get that shot, and just for this team, how you guys have stayed connected? You wouldn't let this one get away when it was all set up to say, hey, maybe we win game 2 because we're all tired from game 7. Just take me through your 3, what it means, and the way this team refused to let this game get away from you.
Well, I've worked on my jumper a lot, you know, throughout the years. You guys have seen maturation of it, so it's nice to have it all culminate in a game winner. But it really comes down to my teammates like Russ making a great play and finding me in transition and in rhythm, you know, on time, on target. So it helps when you have a Hall of Fame passer passing to you. But, you know, we just didn't want to miss the moment. We didn't want to miss the opportunity. You know, we knew if we waited, it may be too late. So I'm glad we showed our, mettle, but our grit, but we're not satisfied.
How loud did you guys cheer when he made that shot?
We cheered like a lot.
I bet.
He was popping his jersey.
Aaron, Coach Adelman called you the soul of this team. What does that mean to you?
I think we have a really soulful group. You know, I think a lot of guys out there just, you know, are leaders. You know, we have a lot of leaders, and we guys that have really high character guys and guys that want to win, and guys that play for the right reasons. So when you bring everybody together that has that same mindset and has that same soulful approach to the game, you get something special.
Aaron, Coach Adelman keeps mentioning that he thinks you guys are an honest locker room, but also that you've become one over the course of the year. Do you agree with that?
An honest locker room?
Honest with each other, having tough conversations with each other, and he said it allows him to just kind of focus on coaching and schematics.
Absolutely. We hold each other accountable, and we have high IQ guys on this team and high character guys on this team. So when we're speaking to each other, it comes from a place of experience, knowledge, wisdom, and compassion.
And yeah, it just allows DA to just focus on the X's and O's and some of the pep.
Is it something you guys have gotten better at in the last month?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to communicate, but, we don't got no punks on this team.
When the Thunder went on their run in the past against other teams, that's normally when they try to put teams away, but y'all were able to withstand it. What were you telling yourselves to be able to keep yourselves in the game and make that second half charge?
I mean, we've been through a lot, this group, and we've come from behind to win in plenty of games. It's not necessarily what we try and do or what we want to do, but we know that we've been in that position before and we can do it. So we saw the time, we saw the score, and we know what we were trying to accomplish, and we got it done tonight.
Russ kind of touched on that, and so did CB, about, this team being there before. Russ talking about, you guys won the championship, obviously, before he got here, but these moments not being too big. Can you sense that that's an advantage you have against, a younger team in this case?
Yeah, I mean, we know what it takes. We know what it takes to get there, to get to that mountaintop, to get over the hump. And on the contrary, we know if we're not giving what it takes, if we're not doing what we need to be, if we're not holding ourselves to the standard of championship level.
3 more kids, go ahead.
Christian was saying I'm sorry. Christian was saying how you pretty much live in the gym. I mean, you have one, right?
Yeah.
How often do you shoot at your gym versus like the Nuggets gym and all that and practice yourself?
Pretty much every day.
Along those lines, after all the work you've done at home and in the gym, wherever, when that shot leaves your hand, do you know it's in? And how would that compare to, say, a year ago when you tried to take that shot?
When I shot it, did I know it was in? I knew it wasn't a miss.
That's good.
Yeah.
Aaron, you guys kind of had your backs against the wall for the last 3.5 weeks. You guys were fighting to stay out of the play-in. Obviously, you were down 2-1 against the Clippers. Had to win in Game 4 on the road. What's it been like, you guys having to kind of fight back and show resilience, just so many times, over the last month? And is it kind of a thing where you guys are kind of used to it and you've been in this spot and, you kind of know how to react to it?
Yeah, we have a lot of poise in this group, We got a lot of just, grit, like I was saying. But, it's not the position that we want to put ourselves in with our backs against the wall. But I know that I know how this group responds, and I have faith that we can respond when we are in those situations. But, that's not where we want to be.
Aaron, you've got the young ones with you, so I'll take you away for basketball just for a moment. When they're in a position where it may not look like they should keep trying, but you want them to, what advice will you give them?
These guys?
Yeah.
It gets greater later. So stick with it. Be a demonstration of resiliency.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, buddy. Good job. You guys were so patient. Good job. That's it. You guys ready? You want to say go Nuggets? You want to say go Nuggets? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. All right, come on, let's go, guys. You guys were so patient.
It's supposed to be up here?
Yeah, that one's acceptable.
Got you.
Alex, when you look at the 48 minutes as a whole, what are some things that stand out to you as areas that you got to improve on in Game 2 that prevent you from even being in a late game situation like that?
Yeah, just some execution stuff, controllables for us. Gave up too many second chance points, gave up too many, non-earned fouls, like fouls we just kind of gave them, which allows them to set their defense and keeps us in a half-court offense. So a couple of things I think that we can do better is probably just finishing possessions. They got some really good offensive rebounders, and then showing our hands, trying to figure out you got to figure out and dictate, how the game's going to be called and try and formulate a plan defensively to negotiate with that. And we didn't do a good enough job with that tonight.
AC, just what was your perspective of those last 15 seconds or so of game clock, the fouling up three, the decisions behind that, and the sequence that sort of won them the game with AG's three?
Yeah, so I think the first one was me on Jokic, which was maybe a quick whistle on it. Like, I don't even know if it was really a foul compared to how the playoffs have been called recently, in the first round at least. So regardless, we wanted to foul, up three. That's the strategy that we've talked about doing. So get him to the line. Then we execute. Shai makes 2 free throws. I probably could have let Gordon dribble a couple more times, run some more time off the clock before I fouled again. But at the same time, we've talked about, when in doubt, just make sure you get the foul done. And then, Chet missed a couple free throws. We were aware of time and score. They didn't have timeouts. They were going to go regardless. So we were ready. He got an outlet, and he banged in a 3 to win the game. It's kind of how it is. I don't think those last 2-3 possessions lost us the game. Obviously, we probably could have executed a little better and made free throws, and it would have been a little easier. But 5-6 minute mark down to the 1 minute mark probably could have been a lot better, and it would have not been coming down to that.
And I know you mentioned that those last few possessions probably are not the reason you lost that game, but the position Chet is put in, it feels like a heavy position for a second-year guy just to miss a couple free throws and then have to get back and see the game-winning 3 shot over him. Like, what's your sort of message to him after that?
Yeah, he's in there for a reason. He was in there game 3 when he had 25 in the second half when we had to come back against Memphis. He was in there late in the game 4 against Memphis, close out that series. We trust him. We believe in him. There's a reason that, Mark puts him out there, and I felt confident when he caught the ball to go shoot the free throws. Sometimes the ball doesn't go in, and you got to try and make a play. And, what are the percentage chance of Chet missing 2 free throws and then Gordon making a contested above the break 3 for game? It probably is in our favor, and yet it didn't happen for us, right? So, again, don't think it goes to that. I think it goes to the 5 minutes before that. But, super confidence in Chet. Like, that's unwavering.
When you look at those 5 minutes before that, what do you think are the primary factors on you guys, blowing a 14-point lead?
Yeah, just those things I mentioned earlier, not finished possessions. We gave them too many free throws where they didn't have to earn it. We couple fouls here and there. You toss a coin up and see if they're fouls or not. That kind of isn't in our control. But just being able to finish possessions, because they would get either an offensive rebound and a tip in or free throws and then go set their defense. And now we're working really hard to go against their cross matching and the stuff they're doing. So kind of beating a dead horse, but like finish possessions. Don't foul.
Hey, Alex, I think Shai was asked about the team's response in Game 2, and I think he said it's going to be fun. How curious are you to see what this team is made of going into Game 2 after losing like this, after not having a lot of adversity in this fashion in the regular season?
Yeah, it's the fun part about basketball, going out there and competing. Like, that's... I really wish we would have won tonight, but, I have fun playing basketball tonight. Like, I love competing and playing basketball. Like, I want to win more than anything, and losing sucks. And giving that game away doesn't feel good. But, perspective, we're getting the chance to go play in the playoffs, Game 2 in the second round on Wednesday. Like, that's... What more can I ask for than that? I had plenty of years where I didn't even get to play in the postseason. I had to go to Miami twice and lose and go home and have a long summer. So I'm playing basketball in May. I'm excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, Alex, you guys, as expected, the bench dominated. Denver's not a deep team. Didn't work out for you in the end tonight, but how much can what you guys did as a bench, how much can that play out, do you think, the entire series?
Yeah, I think just continue to have an imprint on the game with the guys that we bring in that situation. And a lot of that is, putting me and Kaysen and then Wiggs out there, sometimes Isaiah Joe, and then depending on, what big is out there with us, and then throw Dub in. We just have good symmetry, good synergy, good chemistry to be able to like play off each other, speed other guys up, and get out in transition. I think that's where we thrive. And like I said earlier, if we don't foul them and we rebound the ball, we have more chances to do that.
Alex, I was wondering about the strategy. You guys were so effective against Joker early. Seemed like I think he committed 7 turnovers. You guys really had it going on him. And then late, he was getting to the hoop really, really easy. Was it a lot of the changes from their end or something that you guys did differently or both?
Yeah, we probably just gave him a little too much freedom on a couple plays. Like the one I got switched on, and he just, he outweighs me by 100 pounds maybe. Like, he just walked me to 10 feet and shot a hook shot. Like, we got to be better in situations like that. Like, he's the best player on their team. He's multiple-time MVP. Like, we got to understand the situation and look to kind of scramble and get out of those. But I think he just he knows that he has to be more of a scorer, I think. And for us, it's about making that hard for him. And I think just too many times we didn't make it hard for him in the second half.
Anybody else? You got 2 more. Joel and then Barry.
AC Darnell asked you something similarly, and I know you mentioned that you had fun playing tonight. I'm not in the locker room, but it sounded from outside that things were lighthearted in there after the game. Shai's comments came off as lighthearted. What sort of, if you describe it that way, what's sort of the headspace and what gives you guys the confidence to?
No, it was pretty dim the first couple of minutes when we had to sit there and take it in that we lost game 1, and when we played really well for 45 minutes of it. Yeah, I don't want to come off as lighthearted. I don't want to come off as not caring. There's a deep-rooted care factor in this team, and guys want to win, and we want to play deep in the playoffs and win the last game. Like, that's why we're here. We're here to compete and to do that. That being said, it's a team to first team to 4 games, and they have 1 and we have 0. So from there, we got to move forward, regroup, see what we can do better, and go get the one on Wednesday.
Yeah, Alex, I asked Shai and Jalen about this. He gets the breakaway dunk on the inbounds play with 10 seconds left. Put you up 3. Jokic is out of the game because they don't want him to foul. They think they can put him back. They think they're going to foul. They can put him back in. They're out of timeouts. They can't put him back in. Mark's strategy, your team strategy all year, foul in that situation. How difficult is it to switch gears if you wanted to not foul all of a sudden since Jokic is not in the game?
Yeah, that'd probably be a hard thing to audible, just because we had great communication in the timeout about what we want to do, and everybody was on the same page and pretty clear about it. I think the only thing that we could change, that I could probably just run some more time off the clock, and I probably need to do a better job of that. That's probably what I'll beat myself up about the most with that last scenario. But like I said, you don't want to be in that position. You do stuff well enough the minutes leading up to that, and you don't have to worry about the last 10 seconds. And a lot of focus goes into that strategy to foul up 3 and how we executed it and all that. But again, the game wasn't won and lost in the last 15 seconds. We had plenty of opportunities before that to win the game.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Joker, you've called Aaron one of your 5 favorite teammates in your career before.
I said the best.
You said the best?
Yeah.
5 of your best
That
teammates.
was like making top 5 of my career life, whatever his name.
Sure. And now, since that comment, you've seen him hit 2 game winners in the playoffs. Is it awesome seeing that moment for what others have called the soul of the team?
Yes, I mean, he had big free throws before that, so he made both of them. He had the big box out on the Caruso, I think. Was it Caruso? And he made a really big shot for us, and he deserves it. He's like you said, he's the soul of this team. He's a glue guy. He probably doesn't give them much respect that he deserves, but I think he doesn't need attention. So he knows what he's doing. So I'm happy for him.
Nikola, CB and Russ and asked AG about you guys having been here before. How much does experience play into being able to stick with it through the game, and certainly in those last 2 minutes as time's winding down?
I mean, I think most of the nights we are, like I said, finding the way. We are, of course, we have games and nights that we are not doing that, and we don't look like that. But I think, generally looking, we know how to. At least we get the shot what we want, whatever. Even against the team that playing really, really good on defensive end. So we've been, yes, like the guy said, we've been through this, and we've been in this situation. So.
Going back to Aaron just for a second, Nikola, given everything that he's been through in the past year, what can you say about him as just a human being?
I mean, he's great, you know. He told me he's gonna visit me in Serbia, and he showed up. I was like, whoa, there he goes. He's my good friend, of course. We share a lot of stories, we share a lot of emotions together. So he's a great person, great guy.
And then your game tonight, how did you learn as the game evolved what Oklahoma City was doing defensively against you?
I mean, they were definitely coming, you know. I think I had like 4 or 5 block shots. So they blocked my shots 4 or 5 times. They steal all the balls. They were aggressive, you know. That's what they do. They're playing passing lanes. They are. I mean, maybe I was not cautious. Maybe I was just playing loose. But I just needed to be aggressive, and I think I did it the best of my capabilities.
It felt like, I mean, you were in foul trouble, sort of. There was flagrant fouls. And you're battling and scratching, but you never lost your composure. You didn't, and you and this team never let this game get away from you. How were you able to stay calm in the moment? As it looked like a few times, you know, the crowd's going crazy, it's spinning out of control. How were you able to keep it from getting away from you and this team?
It's a game of runs, you know. We know that they're gonna make runs, especially in this arena, especially how they play fast in transition. They're gonna make like 4 or 6 or 8 runs, you know. And we need just don't lose, like you said, don't lose even foul, somebody fouled, whatever. Just don't lose the composure and try to be organized, you know, on the offensive end.
Joker, kind of building off that, they were chanting free throw merchant at you. I'm curious what you thought of that, and how much do you rely on your experiences in Serbia? I've heard you say crowds here don't bother you.
To be honest, I didn't hear that, but that's kind of funny.
But then how much do you rely on your experiences in Serbia when you're dealing with crowds like this, or how much does that help you?
I mean, to be honest, even playing like I play in Serbia, I played even in like small gyms where it's like literally 30 people and you can hear everything what they're saying to you. So sometimes I think that's the worst because you can see the guy who is telling you. And I play in front of a lot of people. I play even for for national team. I play in front of other countries. So it's definitely an experience that I don't get. I'm gonna say I don't get distracted by fans, let's say like that.
Tonight, Coach talked about how honest this team is, especially during those tougher conversations during the game. From the outside looking in, how would you describe what it's like to be a part of a team with minimal egos and one common goal?
Yes, definitely. I think we're definitely getting on each other, especially lately. We are just telling the truth, and we are accepting it, and the guys accepting it. Whoever is if someone says something to me or whatever, we are accepting it, and we just want to win. You know, it's a great feeling inside of the team, and hopefully we can continue to play like this and feel like this.
One of those guys that you were battling against down low was Isaiah Hartenstein. Just curious to know what you remember from his time in Denver, playing alongside him, and just how impressed are you with the type of player he's become?
It was a long time ago, but yes, of course, in New York he kind of stood out, step up like in his game. He's doing an amazing job. You know, he knows where to be. He's always there. He's attacking the offensive glass. He's sending great screens to open guys up. He has a really good touch, like floater, whatever is like. How much that is? 16 feet? Is that whatever is the floater area? And I mean, I think he developed himself to be a really good player.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Nikola.
Pleasure.